All right, good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. I was starting a little bit late. You know how it is. Gotta have that coffee, right? Gotta have that coffee. Okay. All right. All right. So basically, we just had data come out just an hour ago. And again, all considered negative for the dollar. You'll see huge monstrous moves in the dollar, right? 119 again, that doesn't look huge, but it was already starting to kind of move a bit. 240, that's a big one. 366 in the yen, yeah. 127, 82, not that big, right? 82, decent. But then you see this one right here, we see that pound strength coming back in, right? And again, that's a pretty big number. You see, the pound yen 70 is not that big, but again, it seems like we're getting this kind of back and forth action. Now, how to look at this data? I think the markets have kind of grossly overreacted to this one. Again, I would expect retracements today. And here's why. It's great that all this is like, oh my God, this is so bad for the dollar, right? But the reality of it is neither of these numbers is flat. Neither of them is negative. We're still continuing to rise. And I explained this yesterday. Yes, the year over year is only 7.7%. And again, that's an increase of 7.7% since last year. Why was it higher last month? Because again, this time last year, we were seeing large increases. So again, if you don't maintain that same large increase, you can't maintain the same number. It slowly looks like it's coming down, but the reality is it still continued to go higher here, and it continued to go higher here. But overall, if the market had factored that in, I think the market already factored this in all honesty, but I think the reaction is to there. I don't think the Fed's going to do anything different. The unemployment claim is slightly higher. Again, 5,000 jobs. I mean, nothing really big. But the market is taking this as, oh my God, the Fed's going to slow down. I don't know. I mean, I don't think the Fed's trajectory has changed that much at all. I think we go one more, and I think originally the plan was one more. And again, if it's still continuing to rise, it's starting to slow, but that means we're not there yet. We need to keep going until this stops, until this is a zero. That's what we're really looking for, right? And they said they're going to get us the neutral, but then go past it so it stems all future inflation, or at least for right now. So we're not there yet. Another thing, too, in regards to inflation, we did have this come out just a little while ago, that basically the ECB is talking about inflation is becoming more broad-based. Remember, originally, everything was targeted on the energies, right? Whether that was right or not right. Again, it started with energies, but then had pushed into everything else. So, we knew that was there. The fact that they're acknowledging that, hey, listen, it's getting more broad-based. We're seeing it everywhere. We kind of knew that. People had been seeing that. But again, that means that there's more risk associated with it. They're also saying that we're not yet at peak inflation, right? Pipeline pressures are significant. Further rate hikes are needed. Need to go beyond neutral. Again, same thing that the United States is saying, as the Fed is saying. Appropriate to start QT next year. We'll see. We need more rate hikes beyond the neutral level. ECBs, we're not at a peak of inflation yet in the Eurozone. So again, we're not there yet. If we're still continuing to raise every week, we're still not at a peak. Now, again, right now, this data, this figure right here, which everybody's going to talk about, like, look, we pulled back. We were at a high of 8 to, we're still going higher. Okay, the reason why this is what it is only because of the 12-month mark, right? If we extend this out over a 2-year mark, and if you look to see, okay, take it from, I don't know, the beginning of Biden's presidency, right? Because again, COVID, whenever both, look to see what the inflation looks like over a 2-year period of time versus just 12 months. So this is getting the benefit right now of the 12-month rolling. That's kind of why it looks like it's coming down. The reality is it's still going higher. It wasn't as high as expected, but it was last time it was 0.4. They were expecting to go up. It didn't go up. It just held. It didn't do anything. It just stayed flat, right? At the same level of growth, not actually holding flat to what the inflation rate was. So again, I think the market's taking this and going absolutely insane with it. If you look at the charts, look at like the indices. They're up like 4% already this morning. And again, if the market's taking it as a weak clue, I mean, they're looking for like, oh my God, they're going to slow down. That's it. Gold, another one. Gold and silver, both taking off to like, yeah, if this is it, guess what? There's more inflation coming. If they're going to stop, and that's really what the gold trade is telling you right now, right? Gold taking off, that means, oh my God, they're not going to crush inflation anymore. We're going to slow down. We're going to give inflation a chance to, prove that they are wrong. That's what the market's saying right now. So it's wishful thinking, but overall, it's kind of like, hey guys, it's still continuing to grow, right? It's still continuing to grow. And again, this year-over-year figure, it's convenient. Look at this, 415 pips, right? 415 pips, and all that's really in like the last hour. So I guess it's not the last hour. I guess it's a little bit more than that right now. But, again, a lot of it is rooted right around that news release. So, yeah, kind of a false sense of security, more or less. All right. So, obviously, with that said, again, today we have Macklin speaking 1150. That may give us some play back in the CAD, particularly because right now it's showing CAD strength. We may either get a little bit more or it may roll back into weakness. And then we have Messer and George speaking later on this afternoon. Now, talking about economic outlook and monetary policy. Again, the Feds already know this data. This speech is already written. It's not like they're writing the speech now because they waited to see it. They both already know. And then again, energy and economy, again, another kind of important one. Both of them are considered medium strength kind of releases. I think they both give us a way to kind of balance out today. As I said, I think the market has vastly over-exaggerated this one. I don't think the Fed changes much. Yeah. And again, it's kind of like talking about entrenched inflation or not. Like, are we happy with the prices of everything being inflated right now? If this is what we want to stay forever, it's kind of like, oh my God, this is bad. But that's not really what most people want. I can tell you right now, some meat prices are better, but there are still some prices that are absolutely insane at the stores. I don't want to continue to pay that rate. Not when a year ago, 2 years ago, it was so much less, right? Yeah, it's still quite high. So that may give us a movement this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, we have the pound GDP number coming in. Now, the pound's got all kinds of problems. We're seeing strength coming back and forth. One day it's strength, one day it's weakness. Seeing the preliminary, again, you can see what their previous was. Again, it's expected to be down. We know that they are in the longest recession, so this is already expected to be negative. Now, here's the thing. When you get negative data, excuse me, let me rephrase that. When you get a negative forecast, okay, when you have a negative forecast, sometimes, okay, I'm going to say this, sometimes when you get the negative forecast, they are a little bit overly negative, meaning that although the number is still negative, if it's not as negative as what they thought, it's actually a positive base trade. So seeing all this pound strength roll in, seeing this negative kind of forecast for tomorrow, if these come in at a 0.3 or 0.5, it's kind of the same as today, right? These are still positive numbers, but yet it's considered negative. The same thing could happen tomorrow morning. So we may actually have a trade set up early. And then we have economic forecast. I think there'll be some headlines out of that people like. And then we have U of M consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Okay. So is it an interest rate rise? No. But are these some big data points? Yes. And again, the consumer sentiment I think is important. You can see the consumer sentiment also expected to be lower than it was prior. So it's great that the market was good today. But again, the reality is we're all kind of moving in that direction. And we know the Fed has already said we're raising more, right? The housing is where we're seeing this the most, right? I'm sure everybody in housing is like, oh, you know what? It's so great that it's weak for the dollar, right? Are we going to lower interest rates to make mortgages cheaper? No, we're going to raise them. Oh, okay, thank you. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing. But yeah, talk about parabolic moves, parabolic retracements. Today is the day. All right. So that's the next 24 hours. And then again, Friday. Whoops. Sorry. I forgot that it is Thursday. It's already one of those things. That leads us into the weekend. I would expect that we probably get some more headlines tomorrow. More people of the Fed. It's nice that it's a huge rally up, right? It's great that it's a huge rally up. But the reality is, we don't know what's going on yet. Also, remember, we still don't really have... the election is still kind of, the last I checked, it's still kind of rolling forward. The Senate's still 46-48, right, with a couple outstanding. I feel like the other parties have 2 seats is really going to screw it up for everybody. Right now, it looks like the GOP will get 50, right? Looks like they will get 50. It'll be 50-48, and then those other 2 are swing people. So being one of those 2 people is a good thing. The House, the last I checked, I'm clicking on it now. Hold on real quick. Update is of 944. It's 207 to 184, and you need 218 for a majority. There's still a lot standing out there, and reporting is 38%, 50%. It's like, really? How are we 3 days later and only have 39% reported, right? Like, come on, right? And there's some of them out there, like 83% reporting, up by 2%. I feel like some of those are going to be called soon. So I think we're starting to get close, and this could be another big burst, or not a burst, but another big boom, right? If GOP can take the House, that's all they need is the House. They don't actually need the Senate, but if they could get it, it'd be great. All they need is the House. If they can get the House, once it's official, that should also be a nice little perk to the market, a little boom for the market. So technically, we're setting up, if we don't retrace fully in the next 24 hours, we're setting up for today and tomorrow as being days where there's potential, like, listen, the Fed's going to slow down, even though they said they weren't. The Republicans are in, which means, they're not going to be able, things are not going to be able to be forced through. There's going to have to be like joint agreements. And again, those two people are living it up, right? So that's always good. In Maryland news, just so everybody knows, Maryland did pass the recreational usage, right? And actually, it's crazy. We can have like slot machines literally everywhere in Maryland, right? We're going to get recreational marijuana here as well, and where people are up in arms. And it's funny, it was like 65 to 35. The 35, what I'm pretty sure came from the kind of controversial part of it, because again, God forbid Maryland passes anything that's not controversial. They're wiping out convictions, right, for marijuana offenses if it's under like 2 ounces or 3 ounces. Basically, if you're a drug dealer, you're still staying in jail, right? But if you just had like a possession, like, I had a joint in my car when I got pulled over and I went to prison, they're getting rid of all those things. So, which I don't think is bad. It's a political drug anyway. So it's kind of interesting. We had the 65-35. So there you go. Maryland finally is catching up, right? It's good news. I don't think it goes into like next year. So it's like, yep, it's in, but not, it's whatever. So that's what we got on the news front. Other news out here, this is kind of an interesting one to see, right? Focus all its energy on fighting, right? Interesting, right? China's army to focus on preparation of war. If you guys don't know what this means, this is kind of like, he said it right here, Taiwan, right? It's Taiwan. And I'll tell you right now, it's a different scenario, right? Russia and China are totally different, but the fact that they're starting to make rumblings about this in preparation for war, they basically mean Taiwan. And, is the United States going to be able to fund wars on two fronts? No. Could China basically just said, okay, you're going to sanction us? Okay, this is what we're going to do. And are we in trouble? Yes. A lot more than what Russia does. Particularly because, I don't know if you guys saw it. I guess it came out this weekend. Basically, I don't know who it was, Saudi Arabia, something like that. They were talking about the pricing and the discounts for Asian oil. Basically, they were selling oil to Asia at discounted rates. They're not discounting anything in the United States. So, yeah, it's good fun. But that's it. That's kind of all our news, right? That's what we're seeing as far as on the news front, even though this is as big as it is news today. So, let's go in the charts. Obviously, the VIX taking this big lump. Totally expected. With that news out there, I mean, look at the indices are all up. You are seeing it start to rally back a little bit, as it should, right? I mean, as it should. They're still raising interest rates, but right now everybody feels great. They're like, they're not going to kill us in the market, right? They're still going to raise interest rates, guys. It's just, inflation still went higher. It didn't stop. So, with that said, I would expect the VIX to kind of creep back up to a normal level. This is an expected jump. Indices are holding great. Everything is. Apple, and we talked about Apple being an area of buyers yesterday. Isn't this amazing? Look, here's Apple. There's your buyers. There's your confirmation. We closed right on that level, and what did it do? Boom! And we talked about it yesterday, if you remember. I said for some reason, if these inflation numbers come in higher, Apple's going to tank because, again, they are affected by the dollar. We had weak dollar, all of a sudden Apple jumped. Again, the dollar is what was hurting a lot of these companies. So, again, Apple up 5% today. Is it because Apple came out with anything big? No. It purely has to do with the dollar. But look at this. In an area where we had a gap, we came back and confirmed it. We closed there right in the gap and ready for news. And what happened? It drove right down and boom, it exploded. And this is Apple. It's not even a currency. It's Apple. Tesla. Big jump. Twitter, not as much, but again, there's other factors that are involved why this one is not moving. Commodities. For the most part, commodities are holding firm. Oil down just slightly, 85.60. And again, I told you that, again, my stance remaining bearish on this one. I just think that's going to be the way to continue to play this one. So not much in there. Gold and silver, you can see both up big, 2%, 3%. And again, I think they were up a little bit higher as they were before, as they should be. If the Fed slows down, inflation is able to kind of run rampant again. It's like, oh, we're going to slow down? Okay, great. And again, all China has to do is kind of shut down again, and bam, the inflation takes off. So it's kind of a dangerous situation. Look at the Aussie. Okay. Now, the Aussie, we had driven all the way down. It's almost like the market knew, right? Let's drive this price down so we can get a cheaper price for it. Now, we had talked about profit targets. Here was our one yesterday. It got hit. Second one was down here. And if I continue this across, this one didn't get hit. We found some stabilization at about 5:30 this morning in this one. And then what happened is at 6:30, we started to go higher. At 7:30, we went higher. At 8:30, we went higher. It's kind of almost like they knew, right? They were getting their positions ready. Now we've gone up, and we talked about an extreme level at 65.43. As you can see, news bust through it. This is a monstrous. Just the candle itself, just the one candle, 150 pips. It is a daily ATR of 111, right? Daily ATR of 111. So, yeah, we're in parabolic retracement territory. Really, no other way to kind of candy coat it. That's an over a day's worth of movement. Has anything actually changed, right? Has there been a fundamental change in the market? And the answer is no, there hasn't been. It's nice to think that that's a fundamental change because the data came in, but it's not. An interest rate rise, fundamental change. New president, fundamental change. New House or Congress, fundamental change. One single data point that still showed something was positive, not a fundamental change in the market. So it'd be nice to have more, but unfortunately, we don't have any more data at this point. All right, so with it being high, what I would say is wait for, and again, I will expect some type of a kind of a pushback to the downside here. There's nothing inherently out there for the Aussie. We've already talked about how they're slowing down because it's working. They don't need to do any more. There's no more inflation. Again, it's hard to say that ours is working yet because of a single data point that was still positive. And again, 0.4% is not what you want every single month. It's 2 months in a row, 0.4%. So 0.8% in the last 2 months. Not what we want. So, again, a couple ways to play this one. I would be looking for some type of reversal level. We do have the green, the red. This is still higher, so we're not there quite yet. We do know that we're in an area where, hey, listen, we've had sellers. And again, we've already hit it, and now it's kind of like, wait a second. There's a potential fair to go lower or fair to go higher. So there are ways that we can draw this. This is a 15-minute chart, so it's going to look weird. But we do have an area right here where we did have buyers step in. So we may actually have a trade setup come in here where we break through 65.14. And again, we already know we were looking for shorts up here. Again, with as big of a push as this was, it's news-based. So we're really waiting for some type of a top to be put in. Once that top is put in, then we start finding our definable level of risk and we start to take it back again. Now, when you do go short, I would say probably get yourself out right about there. Again, I can take this out, this Harry Potter. Here you can see right here. No entry. Here's where your pullback occurred in this level. Again, we kind of came down, pulled back, and then took off. So that trade is officially out. I'd say when you do finally get short this position, and again, there's a number of different areas. We don't have the signal yet. This is a big move. We can basically take full advantage of the racetrack trade in here. But again, make sure you get profit before 64.14. That's where buyers are going to come back in again. That's where we started to see some hiccups. Yeah, that's it. Like I said, we need the top. The top's not in yet. Do potential tops come in the next 30 minutes? So we're getting close. We're absolutely getting close. Whoops. Hold on. Yes. No. Yeah, buddy. So we should see the movement, but wait for the reversal. Aussie yen. How about that for Aussie yen? So yesterday we talked about the 94. We were sitting right here yesterday. Obviously the big push back down again. We bounced off it late last night. We came through and magically look at that. There was the broken level we were talking about being at the 94. It came down. It based. It came back up. If not, it based here again, came back up again, and then just continued to deteriorate. Now, going into this morning's news release would have been risky. You wouldn't want to do it. And you can see. Talk about a big whipsaw. Straight up and straight back down again. So top to bottom on this one, also a major mover. This is 144 pip. What happened? You're too tall now. Come here. Come here. Boom. What you doing? What you want? Here. No, you cannot have coffee. Here, you can have this. What's this? Ooh. Here, you want the little guy too? You want this too? This too? There we go. So we are back down at an extreme level. We're back down to the start of the move. If I continue this cross, you can see exactly what we ran into. Makes sense where it stopped. We knew we had buyers there already. So right now, a couple things we can do with it. Let's pull all this off, and again, you can see how much of a top that put in there. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. We kind of have a basing level here. We'll leave it. I'm going to turn it yellow for right now. That was the same level. Let's pull that. These are all old ones. We're going to pull them off again. Yeah, buddy. What are you doing? Yeah, I see. I would like to get a reversal on this one, only because the yen will switch. All this yen strength in here will switch. This could actually be the bottom. Reason why is we are at that 93 flat mark, right? We're at 93 flat. We know we got buyers in here. We know this is a level. Again, this is the third hit in there. But as we approach this 10:30, we're going to have all the profit taking from this first 30 minutes. That should help kind of change it. And again, it is a proxy. That should help move the yen around. The question is, are we going to have the dollar help us, or are we going to have the yen help us on this one? That's going to be the big question. And they're kind of in conflicting situations, right? This is an Aussie weakness call. This is an Aussie strength call. So the question is, how much influence are we going to have with the Aussie today? Again, I want to see if we can break through the top of this one. I do like this one, though. Came right down. It's an interesting spot. Interesting spot. Next one's going to be a 71.8 or 61.8. 30 more. Kind of like this Aussie yen better. I think they're both there, but I kind of like this Aussie yen better. Not gonna lie. He's knocking everything around. That's okay. We can go to the next one anyway. So yeah, there could absolutely be a reversal off this one. It's a little bit early, and again, we could probably drop this down. Yeah, you see, we don't have a red, green, red. We're looking for a red, green, red confirmation, but I absolutely think we could get one here. Hey, no, come on, stop touching. No. Look, the 1 to 3 doesn't even bring it back up. Check out that euro. All right, so euro. There was a trade from yesterday morning. There was another way to get into this at 10 o'clock. It literally came up, spiked, and grabbed. We were talking about it breaking through parity. Now, we were talking about getting all the way down to here, and we had some profit. You can see it drove down and kind of set itself up at 530, and it looks very similar to the Aussie dollar. It kind of went low and then started to put higher lows in an hour before the news came out. So kind of one of those ones you're like, they kind of put a bottom in at 530 and then started to build off of that. Did somebody know? And yes, that happens all the time. So that's what we got. Aussie, same thing. Again, the reality of this one we weren't going to expect that one to hold. No, that's the keyboard. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we expect this to hold? Nope, and it didn't. But again, there were your 2 entries from yesterday, so let's remove those off. Get those out of the way. Let's see, we are beyond this side now. This is, I guess we can kind of go all the way up in that one. You know what? Let me go to a daily on this one. I don't need this. Heads up, Kip, stop. It's so hard to do this with one hand. Why? Whoops. Ooh, that's interesting. Look at that. When we go from this most recent swing, look what just happens to be. Look where it came back. It's a 50 now. It wasn't a 50 before. Here it was nothing. Just so everybody knows. It's like, oh, that was a level. No, it was not a level, but it is a level now. So again, we in this range, looking for somewhat of a reversal. It does put some big credence into this 50% retracement level. Is this going to hold? I've hit it a few times. 1, 2. This is not a bad This is not a bad test of that level. It's only 20 pips. Only 20 pips. Yeah, you're happy. You're happy. I feel like that could absolutely be a level. Ow, ow, ow. Stop. You're hurting, Daddy. Do I want to draw it? Ow, stop. Yeah, I'm going to draw it there. We are so close to 1030. Stop. So you want to get down? You can get down. Go hit things there. You can't hit me. There's no hitting. That's what a 1 to 3 looks like off of that zone. I'd say this one right here, 101.86. Then get down, Kip. Come on. Go ahead. Go down. Go ahead. Get down. The 101.86 is absolutely a level that we've had a reversal in the past. It's not the freshest. This is obviously well out of what normal is. 1.5 is not necessarily horrible. But if you look at this move, we're up 227 pips there. The daily ATR is 133. So we're basically almost double. There's got to be profit taking in this one. This is a very good level for it. And we are approaching the 1030 reversal time. So all of these things here, then you stop. If you want to come back up here, we don't hit. We don't hit. Okay. I'd like to see a confirmation bounce off of it. I wouldn't take it as a number one entry, but I do think that that's has a high probability of reversing. Euro pound. Again, this has been very much European weakness, right? We got some more room to run. We finally broken through. There was a profit target from yesterday. We talked about this one breaking through. Unfortunately, it didn't give us a great pullback. Again, the 5:30 this morning. It hit and kind of based, like it hit here and then kind of went through again. Again, had you been aggressive with it, you were good to go. It came down. You can see it's having many problems. We've now cleared this, which is decent. So we do have some more room to run in this one to the downside. I still think what happens down here, and again, this level from what 86.98. 86.98 down to 86.90, that little 8-pip range right there. This is going to be a big telltale. Could we hit and bounce? Sure, absolutely. We do have a confirmation right here of that zone. It has been pushed pretty deep. We do have a racetrack right below that level, at least down to 86.57. So I would say right now, again, what happens at this level will be very important. We could absolutely take a bounce and kind of pull back up again. There's been so much movement. It is kind of due for some profit taking to come back in again. And it is confirmed. But if we come down and bounce, great. I love the level even more. If we come in and start basing, now I'm really looking at a break of 86.90. Look for a base, a drop, and a pullback. And there could be a momentum continuation base trade in there. Yeah, so I'm comfortable with this one. And again, unfortunately, that trade is out. Let's pull, let's pull, let's pull. Again, base in there, we're good. Let's do some fibs from the top and see where we may get some help. Yeah, we may get some in there. Yeah, so right now that's what we're looking at. If we get, again, as we're pulling, if we can roll, there is potentially a trade short there. So, yeah, so all right, there's your pound. Euro yen. Okay, not surprised. So euro yen, we were talking about a breakthrough 145.48. You can see, look, we hit it again. We came up, we hit it, kind of pulled up, we hit it. We started the base, we broke through, we spiked up, and it's kind of like, oh, this is going. And it did. It went all the way back down again. This one, we're waiting for it to come down to 143.71. We were looking to get short this one yesterday. We were sitting up here. We talked about 147 being in this area. Again, we'd hit it multiple times, and it did one spike above, and it's kind of like, yeah, if we can get a confirmation. If you're looking for where the confirmation came in at, again, your official... Let's see. Pretty much here. There's your red, there's your green, there's your red. Right? There's your confirmation of a trend change, and there would be your candles. So that's what it would look like. Okay. Now, this is more of like a curve-based trade, right? Looking for a confirmation entry as it came in, and it did. It kind of came back up, didn't go as high. So there was 2 shorts in this. Not really much to say about it. We're not at a zone yet. We were looking for this one to deteriorate yesterday, and that's all it's done. Again, helped by both European-based news, because that did take off at 3 o'clock this morning, and then obviously followed up by the U.S.-based news. So, yeah, not really much else I can do with this one right now. Yeah, not much else. Yeah. Yeah, wait for 143. Now, 143, this is an area that is the 61.8. So we are looking for some buyers to step in here to kind of bounce off of that one. It is kind of the last kind of low to high. And again, the trend changed here, so that's why we drew it this way. There is a racetrack possibility, though. Okay, now a break of 143.50. We're looking for that one to drop about 25 pips to the downside. It's into where the next buyers were. It's basically, if we have a failure of the 61.8, it's taking it down to the 78.6 is all that it is. You can see it over here. Now, this was not a 61.8 originally. It is now, right? Actually, I guess it was from here down. I expect buyers. I expect they will step in. So you may even want to take profit just a little bit earlier, maybe like a 143.78 on this one. Wait to see what it does. It, yes, absolutely can bounce off of this one. It has happened in the past. It has halted. It hasn't been down here. So this is kind of the same scenario. There could be a bounce, which after this big move, again, it is a potential for a parabolic retracement move. But 2, if we can come down, we don't bounce, and we start the base, that's when this trade comes in. And that's a break of 143.50 down to 142.86. Actually, I guess it's what, 70 pips, not 25. So that's pretty decent. We can remove this now. Again, this is the short we called for yesterday. I am going to draw a top to bottom on this one. And again, depending on where we go, there could be, and again, this is what the bounce may look like. This may come down, bounce back up to the 23. And then that may be where we kind of look to take this one short. So that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest bit. And again, that would give us enough time before the end of the weekend that, again, this trade would come to full fruition. Okay. Pound yen. Are we surprised? Nope. And again, we did get the base. We did come down. We didn't grab the second profit target. It did grab the first, but let's pull this off now just so we don't have it be confusing. That profit target is out. That Harry Potter's gone. Kind of the same thing. We can push this all the way up. You can see where the 23 is. Again, here was that old level. That's where we're starting to have some hiccups. So I would say kind of the same thing for me on this one. Again, profit target is there. I think there's probably a parabolic move in this one. We have a lot of kind of emphasis on the pound right now. But what do we have coming up for the pound tomorrow morning? We have this. Okay. And again, what if it's worse than expected? Right? So they finally, MT5 is now responsive. It works on iOS now. It's amazing that it took this long. So, yeah, I would say we are at an area where there's a reversal. Again, with that news coming in tomorrow morning, if it does come in worse than expected, then there's your reversal. That's all you need for this thing to reverse. So, yeah, I think it's close. It's ready. Not yet. It's not yet. Maybe does it need to move a little bit more? Let's see. 30 pips to 170? Potentially. Prices pass. We can remove these now just to kind of clean it up. That I want to keep. Good. Actually, it looks like we got some levels sitting right above. So maybe that's what we're looking for. But yes, I do think getting short this one. Again, we are not in a recession, and they are definitely in a recession. Their longest recession ever. Again, up 2.7. What is this one up right now? Yeah, 241 is what we're up. It's got a daily ATR of 199, which again is kind of expanded right now. So 199 is high for this one. This one's typically like 140, 150. So yeah, I look for a retracement as well. Again, if you want to see a confirmation bounce off that, 117.11 could be where it goes. All right. Now, pound yen. So pound yen, again, it is a proxy, kind of a weird one. Yesterday we were sitting right here. We talked about this one pulling back up off the 50. You can see, again, it came down and tagged the profit target at 166. That was yesterday about 1:30 in the afternoon. We kind of came down, touched it, took people out on profit, and kind of just started basing and kind of climbing. The 8:30 candle got a little bit crazy. And again, we don't typically, again, this came back and grabbed that level in the past. It was already one good trade. Kind of got spiked through rather quickly and then just absolutely collapsed. So it's doing the right thing. Trading this one was hard. There wasn't really a definable level. There's the old level here, but it didn't even hit that level. So we'll remove it. Right now, again, we have traced past the 78.6, so we can remove that, right? We do have a larger level here. And again, kind of the same thing. We just talked about this one kind of having a bit of a reversal. Again, it's just like the Aussie. Right? The Aussie was very, very high. We were looking for a top. The pound, very, very high. We're looking for a top. Over here, we're looking for the yen to save us. And again, you can see this one starting to roll. We're looking for the yen to save us as well. And we are coming into an area. Again, it's been hit a couple times. There's 3 times, but it's barely breached it. So, do we get another buy off this area? It's potential, right? And again, if it's going to happen, 10:30 is when it's going to happen, right? We're at 10:10. So we're absolutely in close proximity to when we would expect to see that. Okay, like what the heck is he beating on now? Sorry. So it was a weird noise. I was like not prepared for that noise. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. All right, so yeah. Looks very much like the Aussie yen, looks very much like the Euro yen. Pound yen's all in the same situation, so we'll have to see if the dollar yen is in the same situation. Dollar CAD, why do we get this one? Because of the data. Not surprised. It did rally back up again, and it looks like didn't really go to much. Yeah, it's hard to really say it's a 23.6 in either of those two levels. Even this near term, here's the 23. It kind of sliced through that and kind of went up and grabbed stuff, and then it was like, yeah, we're ready, and then just dump it. So, yeah, I guess we'll run this down right now. It really doesn't even matter because, again, we had a trend change right here. So, I'd say if anything, it's probably more this is what people are looking for. That is on the 23. 1150. How close are we? 40. I don't think we can do 40 in an hour. There's a zone here. It's not a horrible zone. So the risk in this one is Macklin saying something, but So again, we've seen this in a couple other pairs. We are bouncing off of levels where we have buyers. It is 10:30. These are perfect times. But with Macklin speaking in an hour and a half, question is, can we go far enough? I don't think there's a 1 to 3 off of here. Maybe there is. Maybe there is. There is. I kind of want this to rally up and 11. Let's do it at 12. I kind of would like to see that. Right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like Macklin's going to talk about getting inflation in control, being dedicated to it, keeping going to higher. Data's been great. I feel like it's kind of as weak as the dollar is right now. This is profit taking happening right now. It's doing exactly where it should. If we continue to see this kind of profit taking, it's not really the dollar strengthening. It's people getting out of the positions with their profit. If it comes back higher into Macklin's speech, it could be a great little short and a push down to this 133 level. I would say if you are short or you're getting short in there, 133.01. Don't get your fingers out. There, you're okay. You're okay. Somebody somebody put their finger in a drawer and then shut the drawer with their finger in the drawer. Yeah, you're okay. I know it hurts, but you didn't close it hard. We're learning all the important life lessons right now, all in one day. No, it's not in one day. It's been this is a common trend we've seen. You're okay. It's fine. Here. You want this? Yes, you didn't break any fingers. You're okay. Little kids are so much fun. All right. Yeah, so I'd look for this as roll. I think Macklin helps bring this one back down again. Dollar Swiss. Again, we'll bring this all the way down. It's kind of like they knew, right? They pulled back up again. Yeah, you can see it was kind of high. We were looking for this level, but funny. Just moving this around, that's where we talked about before. I didn't change that, and that's where it was at, that range. Let's see. Yeah, see, we're in a racetrack here, so it's probably using this level, but I don't need this anymore. All right, let's pull this off. Pull. Okay, don't need this. That's out. Wow, it was close. Profit target's right there. Hmm. 210. This one's double as well. You can see there's your pinch. It's kind of funny. Wrote it right up into the level. Monty 7. I wish we had a zone over here. I really wish we had a zone right there. So there's a zone just kind of below where we are. Goes in there. I'm going to say the same thing. I think dollar Swiss reverses. I'd like to see a decent bottom put in. This is absolutely a parabolic move without a doubt. I think it's over exaggerated. Once we see the dollar start to reinflate again, we didn't learn our lesson. We're playing with the drawers again, just in case you guys were wondering. Probably rolls back up again. The 23 is far enough away. The problem is we're in a racetrack already, so it's very, very hard to pick a bottom here. We do have a level a little bit lower. I think, if anything, look for that to be a target first. It is a potential level that we could come down and bounce off of, this 96.21. But right now, we really kind of need to get a decent bottom put in, and we just don't necessarily have it. Nah, he's unfortunately, it's the, it's kind of like the same thing with fire, right? You don't ever want a kid to get hurt, but like, a kid won't learn what fire is until he gets burned once. Now, Kip is nowhere near that stage where he's anywhere close to fire, obviously. But yesterday, he closed his hand in one drawer and a door, right? The day before, I think it was just a door. He's starting to understand, like, oh, when this closes, and then he's like, oh, I think within the next week, he'll have it figured out. We don't close our fingers in drawers and doors. It is not fun. Again, it's Darwin's theory, right? Only the strong survive. I feel like that's where we're at with him. He's kid number 4, so, if you guys have kids or don't have kids, if you have kids, you understand what I mean. If you don't have kids, you're going to think this sounds crazy. Your first kid, he drops a pacifier, you, sanitize it, right? The second kid, you basically, you get a wipe and then you wipe it off, right? The third kid, you like put it in your mouth and you like get everything off and then put it back. And like the fourth kid, you just put it right back in his mouth. You don't even care. It dwindles over time, right? Yeah, that's how it works. So, all right, let's bring this down. Let's see where we get some pop taking coming in. We're all the way down here. Did we mess with that? We probably did. Yeah, we did. There's your confirmation right here. Right, Jeff? It is the truth, isn't it? People never understand that, right? All right, so dollar yen, also in a level. So we've talked about this on multiple things. So this dollar pair, dollar yen, looks exactly like the Aussie yen. It looks exactly like the euro yen. It looks exactly like the pound yen. And we're seeing on the dollar yen. What we've seen in a lot of the other currency pairs is that the dollar comes back up again. The dollar is in an area where we're looking for it to reflate. So just like this one, the dollar is now in an area where we have buyers. If this 1030 reversal is happening today, this is the area where it's going to happen. When it does that here, this will be dollar strength as it reflates, and it'll be yen weakness. And again, a lot of this is coming in from the profit taking. Well, those same yen weakness trades are set up in the Aussie yen, the euro yen, and the pound yen. So they're all kind of in the same spot. They all kind of make sense where they're at. It's timed up. It's just how much profit taking are we going to help? Things like the NQ being up 5%, Russell up 5%. Obviously, it makes sense why those two were going up there because those were the biggest concerns in those two levels. But the reality is the Fed going to still continue to raise? Yes. Unless Powell comes out and says, that's it. It's working, guys. You know what? Off today's data, this single data point, we're not going to raise anymore. We already know they said they're continuing to raise. They're not going to pause yet. So we'll see. I think those two come back in. So it makes sense to me. And same thing. Bitcoin, why is Bitcoin up? Bitcoin's up 11%. Why? Why do we go from 15,000 all the way up to, again, 15,000 is crazy. Why do we go from 15? Again, Robert Kiyosaki. That's why this went back up again, because at 16 was him pulling the trigger. We broke down Robert Kiyosaki. He backed the truck up and he bought it all. Right? That's not really why, but, I'm just saying. Up 11%. Ethereum, up 20%. Why is it up 20%? It's because of the dollar. Everybody's like, that's it, the dollar's done. They're not doing anything else. They're still doing more. So is 21% a normal day? No, not even for cryptos. 20% is not even a normal day. And Doji, you can see that Doji, it briefly, did it? No, it didn't. It was super close, right? It almost got back into the sixes again. And yeah, Doji's up 20% today. So great investment. Should we be buying? I mean, look at the whip in this one. From here, all the way down, all the way back up, all the way back down again. So, yeah, right? So temporary. Now, TLT, absolutely 100% justified in TLT. Why is it justified in TLT? Because, again, we're seeing so much dollar weakness. Again, dollar bad, great for bonds. But we've seen sellers up in this area before. We've already kind of hit it twice, and we're also up there as well. So, again, it's just another one of those things. It just the same narrative keeps lining up again and again. We've had monstrous movement in the dollar well beyond what a normal day is. And what do we start to see? We're seeing us hit levels now where we've seen sellers or buyers come in the past for the dollar. So it's also kind of at a reversal level. And again, with a parabolic move, we keep mentioning like traditional options and trading TLT. Guess what? This is absolutely well out of the norm. More than 3.3% in TLT is a lot. Big days tend to get reversed because of news, and nothing truly happened, right? This is how you you get into another options position. After the news is in, there's a volatility crush. Now you take advantage of it in the opposite direction, right? So it's there. Good opportunity. Buddy, what are you doing? Let's look at crude. So a little bit of kick back and forth, right? 830, sent it up, and then sent it right back down again, and now it's coming back up again. You may say, well, why is crude not moving as much, right? Well, different ways to look at this. Some people will say, well, wait a second, unemployment is up, right? Okay, well, if inflation is peaked and that's it, we're not going to crush the stock market, that's also good, right? Because, everybody likes that one. So that's why, again, we're seeing this kind of go back and forth. Overall, though, we are still more to the downside. Again, we haven't really broken through major levels up here coming up. And I said, listen, you got to be short crude this week. And again, we're continuing that. It's climbing up a little bit right now, and I think that's okay. If anything, I think this, coming back up in this level, it kind of gives us some selling opportunity. I don't think this is done yet, but I think that, again, there's so much effort is being put towards it. Not having a true read on what's happening with the election, the fact that we still don't have, last updated at 10:24 when I'm looking at my chart, and it's still 46 to 48. and it's still 184 to 207. So we're close. I mean, we're 11 people in. I don't know, I'm not sure when the big chunks will come in and people will finish. I'm assuming by Friday we'll have an idea. I think that's the next real big mover. And remember, we had a nice surplus yesterday in oil, So, but I think it's important to point out as well. Okay, in 1 week from the weekend, from Monday till now, going from 93.50 all the way down to 86, almost $10 swing in 1 week. Is that price stability? No. What is OPEC trying to provide? Price stability. So it's not making OPEC happy, and they're like, oh, look, now we're just collapsing through again. We can't plan for this kind of stuff. So, yeah. Natural gas. Natural gas actually, I would say, has stabilized a little bit, and we can see, in the overnight. We talked about a level here. We were really waiting for 560 to come in. All we saw was this kind of lower level here, right? We had a low put in yesterday morning. Was it right at 11? 10:30. 10:30, 11 is when we saw that one. And all we did was we came back down and pushed higher. I don't know. Let me see. You know what? That could potentially be a fib pullback too. Let me see. Yeah, it was. From the low yesterday, this morning was actually this 9:30 mark, was actually a 23.6 pullback. So not too shabby, right? Right now, I would say that it's probably set up more of a short pattern. I would say that it did go kind of a little bit early, if there's your base. Kind of missed it, but again, we do have inventory today. I don't think it's out yet. I think is it 11? Actually 10:30. So it's coming in the next 5 minutes. Expected to be a bit of a down draw on there. I actually wouldn't be surprised if that comes in a little bit off. So yeah, again, natural gas kind of pushing up, kind of got those 23.6ers, got a level of sellers in there. So again, I would say natural gas is kind of set up just on a big spectrum. Now remember the 35-1 strategy. It tends not, I mean, again, it works, but natural gas, because of the volume based in it, it doesn't have as many big players, so it's not as easily manipulated. I would say there's many more eyes on oil for that one. What? What? You're just unhappy now. What? Yeah, here. Here. What's this? Here, play with these two. Here. Here. What's this? Here. Do you want this? Here, look, does this go here? Wow. What's that? There we go. So we'll see. Actually, let's bring it down real quick. Yeah, it kind of pulled back down again. I wouldn't say that it's stabilizing. Let's see on a 1 minute. No, I'm not really getting the stabilization with it. But you can see, look at the candles here on the 1 minute versus when we look at oil on the 1 minute. You can see how there's a bunch of little tiny gaps. It's just a lot smaller volume. And remember, most of the strategies that we're trading, we're trying to bank on the large money moving and manipulating the market. Not as many here. So it's the only warning I have for you on that one. Gold. Any surprise the gold pop? No, none whatsoever. We talked about a level here. We were looking for a break. We still don't have the break, but I do really like it. The fact that we came in and came in and came in and came in again. I'm loving this level. Like, this is one of those ones now where I want to throw an alert on there and be like, hey, listen, when it comes through that level, I want to know. I want to make sure that, I'll just put it there. I want to know when it comes through that level at 1703. Why? Because we have a big racetrack move here. They're not going to let inflation continue to grow as it is. Am I surprised at this? No. Am I kind of surprised that at 8 and 8, 8 at what, 7:30 and 8, we had green candles? Nah, not really, right? There was nothing holding it up there. So it makes complete sense. Do I think this one turns and rolls? Yeah, I do. Let's see. Looks like we have a 78.6 sitting right there. So could that be... Oops. We do have a confirmation there too. Whoops. Not what I wanted to move. That's what I wanted to move. This is when we were drawing, looking for a top. So, look at that. We need just a little bit more, and we have some confirmed sellers there, and we have a 61.8 at 170, or I'm sorry, 1756.25. So, potential reversal for gold. Right there. Okay. Again, parabolic move. So we're looking for every reason. Silver. You can see silver. Again, we chopped through this one. We'd already been pushed to deep. We knew there wasn't much left in this one because of this spike up at 10 o'clock yesterday. We went through, and now it's like, oh, look at all the chop in this one. We didn't make it all the way up to 22. We were kind of hoping we'd get up to 22. We didn't. Am I surprised? No. Again, it already started to move. The European market already started to take it higher. They took the bounce off 21. The European market already started to push in that direction. It's kind of like they knew already, right? Let's pull that off. Right now, let's see. I'm kind of curious. Again, this is an easy run up, top to bottom. Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, look at that. Right now, if I draw it across, the 23.6 just happens to be using the same level of basing. We'll just draw it there. Same level of basing, right, with the $21 mark. So we got a round number at a 23.6 pullback based off of this new extension. If we can pull back down again, could provide an opportunity to go long, right? So we'll pull this off, and pull that off there. So again, more of a technical based market. So let's see what that natural gas number is. Oh, okay. So yeah, 79. All right, so a little bit of a down draw. Let's see what that did actually real quick. Yeah, I'm curious to see if we can get that push in there. And again, retail traders to see that and be like, oh, there we go. And then this becomes a short. I kind of like this one. Maybe we shrink it just a little bit, though, to there. Right. I think that could be a potential roll. So again, basically what it is it's you see it and you're like, oh, that's positive news. That's great, right? Just as everybody sees that when it's already kind of rallied up higher. So yeah, it is a little bit of a down draw, not humongous. But as everybody sees that positive number, they try to get long natural gas, thinking that, hey, listen, it's great, commodity's great, up there, yeah, I got to get in, right? I don't want to miss out. That's when it runs into sellers. The profit taking from the morning session is when that kicks in, and it turns and rolls back down again. So it's kind of natural gas is kind of set up there. Now ES. So we're basically back up to where we started. As far as opening print goes today, it's obviously invalidated. CPI was too big of a number, and I even mentioned that it's probably not going to be a great thing to do because, again, you expect it to kind of follow the same trend. It did actually pull back, and again, if we go on a 15-minute, you can see we kind of had basing slowing in here, and what did 930 do? 930 did pull it back again. Do you want to kind of go long after a big rallying price? Typically not. So again, I would say that today is one of those days that just doesn't qualify for opening prints. But with where we are right now, we know we had sellers here in the past. You can see that it's already hit it, pulled back again. The green didn't really go as high. We're about to have a green, red, green here situation where this turns and flips. You may say, well, why would it go down? It's just profit taking, guys. We're up 4% today. That's a bigger move than is normal. We're outside, and again, here, just throw Bollinger Bands on there. Love this balance of power one. You can see we were look very, very tiny, very, very tiny. Boom, we exploded to the top side, and now it's starting to go past. It's starting to come back under. Even just a reversion to where the mean is. Whoops, not this one. Even just a reversion to the mean brings us back into this level. So, can we still end the day in the green? Absolutely, 100%. We can still end in the green, right? But I would expect a bit of a pullback, and we are at a level back to the 100% retracement level, right? I can remove this now because, again, it's past the 78.6, but we know that there was a level sitting there. Yeah. Again, 10:30 is when this reversal comes in. I see it rolling back down again. Do you want to take it flat right now? Or, you could. We're kind of close. And this is another one of those ones. If you guys know how to play traditional options where it gives you a little bit more time, this is probably not a bad way to kind of take it and play a bit of profit taking. This is a lot. This is a lot of a move. It's not as big as NQ, right? NQ has the same type move, right? And if we look to see where NQ numbers are looking to the left, we knew that we had, this is an old level here. Let's move it up to this level here. If we bring this across, you can see exactly what NQ also ran into, right? Yeah, look where the 23 is, right? Where some buyers stepped in, right? Buyers are there. So I'd say that NQ is also in a similar situation, right? Is it going to be red for the day? No, unless there's something super crazy. But up 5.3%, up 579. Is that a normal day? No, it's beyond what normal is. So things tend to revert back again. 10:30 is the time for the reversal to come in. You're already seeing a red, a green, and a red on the 15-minute. Again, we're only 3 minutes into this one. If this one closed in 9 minutes that closes here, that red, green, red tends to be a confirmation that there has been a trend change. So also kind of in a similar scenario, looking for this one to turn and roll back down again, probably to this level. I would assume that, I'm assuming that people will step into the 23.6. Okay. Looking at YM. Look at the drama at the YM. Is there an opening print? Absolutely not. Not after a big move like that. And again, 35,400. Kind of a similar scenario. Obviously, not as clean, a little sloppy. What? What do you want? You're pointing over there. You want to go over here? Here, you go over here. Here. What's this? What's this? Kind of similar. This one's sloppier. You can see it's only up 2.5%. So you talk about what's out of the ordinary. NQ, Russell, both up huge. Why? Because again, if they slow raising the interest rates, it actually is a relief for both those people. Again, not increasing the dollar will help tech companies, but looking to see that, hey, listen, the economy is starting to crash a little bit more. The unemployment rate is higher than the new totals are higher than expected. Again, that goes more towards the manufacturing side, and that's why you're seeing this up 2.5%. Again, if they do turn negative, I would expect this one to turn and roll the most. It's up here, and again, you can see as far as analysis goes, like up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. If anything, I would say get short YM. I think YM also pulls back down again, probably somewhere over into here. Okay, Russell. Okay, Russell. Again, this one, it held and maintained really, really well down at the 1775 mark, and then exploded as it should, right? Because again, if there's any type of a pullback, any excuse whatsoever not to raise interest rates, the one who benefits the most is Tech and Russell, because again, they're small companies. Now we are pulling back up. There's a couple levels in here. This is kind of the upper echelon of it. You can see based off this other move, there's also a level sitting down here, and that's what we kind of hit before. Bringing this across, it's also now pulled right into that same level. We have a red, but we had a green that went higher. Question is now, will we get the red, green, red on the 15-minute here? And will this one also pull back down again? If you want to pull kind of some fibs on this one, I think this one has the ability to come back down today to 1838. Does that keep us green for the day? Sure, absolutely. But it is a pullback as profit taking does come into the market, and it does. You make a big trade like this that goes outside of what ordinary is, you got to collect your profit, right? And the way to do that is obviously you sell. The more people that are collecting profit, the more the price comes back down again. So, it is what it is. Again, remember, opening print, when there's something like this, as monstrous as a move, that's typically not what you're looking for opening print. We're actually for opening prints, we're actually looking more for boring. Boring is kind of more what we're looking for. But all four indices are literally at areas where we could see reversals. Again, looking at the dollar one last time, you can see that a dollar, again, we know that we're still high in the curve, but what is a dollar doing? Impulse, correction, impulse, but now it's kind of like, uh-oh. Could we get a green that starts to push up, a red that doesn't go as low, and could we see the reversal here? Answer is, I'd say probably yes. 108 is still so traditionally high. It's unbelievable. It's not 111, but it's still high in the curve. So, there's still more. Again, we're going to hear tomorrow morning about how the pound is really bad. They're in a recession, and yet our data seems to be holding pretty good. And, right now the world is not ending. So, next big things today. Again, I want to see what comes out of here. What type of headlines are coming out at 12:30 and 1:30 today from Messer and George? I think both could be pretty decent. And then again, tomorrow morning, the consumer sentiment expected to go down, but this could be a big boom. So here you go. Oh, look, here you go. Oh, stop, buddy. Where you go? It brings some cheer, right? Oh no, not that one. Where's the cheer one? Stop hitting the. Right here. I love it. It brings some cheer. Look, right? It's down from 8.2. It was even better because it just raised this. So, buddy, please stop. So, all right. Well, that's it for today. Kip's obviously had enough. I think we're going to do an early nap today. So, Debbie's still not here. Marina is won 2 in a row, right? All right. Well, here, get down then. Here, I don't want to hear it either. Go ahead. Get down. Come on. Marina's won 2 in a row. She's going for 250. Everybody else is going for a 25. Let's see if she can three-peat. We will close it down for the day. Winner of today's drawing is... Wow. She three-peated. It's been a while since we had a three-peat. Go Marina. It's probably because I mentioned her name. I think we figured out that, like, Alexa... Whoops, not minus... I feel like at this point we figured out that if I mention someone's name, it makes them have a higher chance of winning. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's because Debbie's not here. Like all the girl power is going to her, right? I know Ernest is losing. Hey, Ernest had the fun thing the other day. So Kip, stop, buddy. All right, I'm going to go take care of the little one, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow morning. Again, tomorrow morning will be an important release. Again, it comes in right at 10 o'clock, so we'll actually be able to look and trade that one. Again, watch your profits when these two speak, Messer and George. They're not major market movers, but they absolutely could, again, make the market. All right, I got to go. Melissa just hit with the door, so I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.